and I'm the Community Champions Project Manager and Volunteer Coordinator for Sustainable Merton. So I've been highly involved with setting up the fridge from the beginning when it opened back in April, and my main role since then has been recruiting and managing a growing number of volunteers who we call fridge friends for the fridge, both at the fridge and delivering food to the fridge. So I'm just going to be talking to you a little bit about kind of the story so far with our community fridge, how it's grown, and our impact, and kind of a bit about just, what does a day at the fridge kind of look like. So as I mentioned, I guess it was May that was our first opening day, and we had started planning for this one. Okay, so as I mentioned, we first opened the community fridge in May, and it had been in the planning process since the fall of the year before, and we had to kind of adjust our model a little bit in response to COVID, and quickly create all this, COVID secure guidance, and just adapt how we ran slightly. But we were able to open in May, and I'm really thankful for that, because we've been able to help a lot of people who have been in food poverty, many, as a result of COVID. So essentially what a community fridge is it's a big fridge, which is located in an accessible, friendly space. And how it works is businesses and members of the public can donate good quality surplus food, mainly focusing on fresh food, and then that food is redistributed to the public. So there are many community fridges across the country, and I guess addressing food poverty was kind of a, the main goal is reducing food waste, and but because of COVID, we have really brought food poverty kind of to a goal of reducing food poverty up alongside this reducing food waste. So we run out of Morden Baptist Church, and so we started with just being open on one afternoon on Thursdays, but at the beginning of September, we also now are open on Wednesday evenings to serve people who can't make it during the afternoon. And as I mentioned, our volunteers are called Fridge Friends, and we now have almost 20 of them. So, this initiative wouldn't be possible without them. I guess I should say, a community fridge is not a food bank, so the main goal is still to reduce food waste. And we really wanted to overcome this stigma associated with people needing help with food. So we've tried to be, all the fridge friends and anyone else at the fridge, we work towards being just really friendly and thanking people for helping us reduce food waste, and tried to give it this kind of community, warm, welcoming feel. And to help accomplish this, we, although we started with kind of handing people just pre-made boxes of food, we wanted to instead give people a choice of, what food they wanted to, this it's set up, and we've set it up kind of like a marketplace. So they come in, they see all this friendly signage you can see here, bright, colorful, and yeah, we said, what would you like? And we chat with them. And I think alongside helping people in food crisis, it's also been kind of a time for social interaction during the week, and much needed time during this crisis, because even though we're COVID safe and we wear masks and maintain the 2-meter distance, I think it is still a valued social interaction between the fridge friends and the clients that come and use the fridge every week. So just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of branding looks like and everything, our fridge is located in this back storage room. So we made this really friendly paneling here to go behind the fridge to make it seem more friendly and kind of, I guess, separate our space from the rest of the storage room. This is food that we got from Co-op, and we receive food from Co-op every week. So I guess maybe I'll just tell you a little bit about where our food comes from. So the bulk of our food is from an organization called FairShare, and it's food that we receive before it goes to supermarkets. So essentially, you know, maybe the company produced too much, more than was ordered by the supermarkets. So we get this huge delivery every Wednesday afternoon, and that's the bulk of our food, all surplus. And that's a mix of fresh and long life food. And we also are part of a second initiative run by FairShare, which is called FairShare Go. And so this is food that after it's been at the supermarket that would just be thrown out otherwise, even though it's perfectly good to eat. And this normally consists of pastries and fruit and veg. So you can see here, I think this might have been Blanca who picked this up, but there's a lot of food in some of the orders, and all of that would have just been thrown out if we didn't take it. And we Blanca and other volunteers take that, drop it off at the fridge, and then we distribute it on Wednesday evenings and Thursday afternoons. Yeah, so, and then we also have connected with a local co-op store, as I mentioned, as well as a few ethnic grocery stores near the fridge. Residents are starting to just drop off a bit of food. Like, for example, one person just stopped by and said she was going on holiday and wouldn't eat the stuff in time, so just dropped it off. So it's really starting to grow, and we're starting to make all these local connections with residents and businesses, which is really exciting. And these are just some of our very friendly fridge friends. One of our community champions actually made a promotional video for the fridge, and this is a little shot from that video. So that's on our website if you're interested. You can check it out. This is Pauline and Sebastian, and they've been volunteers since the very beginning. And Daphne started a little bit later and delivers food from Co-op every week. So just to give you an idea of our impact so far, those FairShare Go collections that I mentioned, we've picked up 45, I think close to 50 now. 81 families have been served, and many of those families now come every week. So we serve about 20 to 25 families every week. 5,500 kilograms of surplus food have been redistributed, 224 volunteer hours, and this is equivalent to approximately 13,000 meals and 17,000 kilograms of CO2 saved. So it's, you know, it seems like a small initiative, and, you know, one little space in one church open twice a week, but actually, if you look at the cumulative impact, I think it's been, you know, quite extensive. So we're, all the fridge friends and us staff are very proud of it, and yeah, I think it's made quite a difference. So I'm going to, does anyone, did I miss anything, Amy or Ellie?
Okay. So you okay to go on to the, is it the 7th slide? So I'm having technical issues with my computer. Okay, yeah, so this is me. So my name's Ellie, and I'm the projects and campaigns coordinator at Sustainable Merton. So just to follow on from Rachel, I'm going to be talking about the Community Fridge Network, and also our new project, which is called Sustainable Food Places. So the network, I think we're just going to look at the slide now, is a partnership now between 4 different organisations. So it's us at Sustainable Merton, Wimbledon Guild, and I know Hillary's on this web chat as well, Common Side Development Trust, and the Polish Family Association. We've come together, and we're just starting out as a network now, really to replicate what we've done at Sustainable Merton in these 4 other locations, so that we can reach more people in the community, like Rachel said, to reduce food poverty and food waste. The idea is that between the four of us, that we will be able to learn from each other, share resources, and really just create social hubs, community hubs at each location. Amy, do you want to go to the next slide? So yeah, so here we go. So there's we want to create these social hubs with, and again, more volunteers at each location, and we're hoping to provide workshops so that people can learn, you know, how to cook with fresh food, and you know, so that they can replicate this at home. We find that a lot of people kind of in food poverty may not necessarily know, you know, how to prepare certain foods. So it's about kind of educating as well as sharing the food. We also hope to maybe give kitchen starter packs to people so that they can go home and, you know, have the tools that they need to then be able to produce healthy meals for themselves and their families, and really again just reducing that food waste to make sure everyone's getting nutritious meals. So yeah, we hope to, obviously as a collective effort, really reach more people, deliver more food, and obviously you know, save all this food from going to waste. We go to the next slide, Amy. Thank you. Amy, can you hear me? Oh yeah, great. So I think that's kind of the network in essence. We will be, like I said, in conjunction with all these fridges, there will be kind of workshops, demonstrations, social activities. We want these places to be hubs where people can come and just meet people, share food and learn about food. And that's basically it. And we just think together as four partnerships, we're going to be stronger and also just use each other's existing resources and build on them. So it's a really great project, and we're really excited about embarking on this kind of journey with the other partners. So does anyone have any questions before I move on to sustainable food places about the network? Anyone?
Yes, Ellie, we do just have one question. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah.
So Rowena, thank you for your question. Are you looking for volunteers for the different locations?
Yes, I think so. I mean, we at the moment with our fridge, we've got quite a few volunteers at the moment. So I think we're fine, but we're actually looking for volunteer drivers, so people that can do the pick up from supermarkets and deliver to the fridge. That's what we're lacking. It's kind of bridging that gap between where the donations are and getting to the fridge. I've just seen that you don't drive, Rowena, and that's fine. That's not a problem. I mean, sometimes these are local businesses. You could walk or get on the bus if you wanted to, but yeah, I mean, and then with regards to, I've just seen something from Hilary as well, with regards to the other partners, they will kind of have their own control over their volunteers and their recruitment. So you know, if you are interested, I guess you could always email us, and then if we don't have any volunteer spaces left, we can always then suggest or pass your details on to our other partners. And I think that's the beauty of now having the three other partners, is that we can share not only kind of material resources, but also the volunteer base as well. Because like I said, it is a collaborative effort. So yeah, if you are interested in volunteering, do just email over, and then I'll speak to Rachel whether we've got anything that might suit you at Sustainable Merton, and if not, we can pass your details over to our other partners. So I hope that answers everything. There we go. Hilary's just put her details on. So okay, perfect. We've got something going on already. Any other questions? So, I mean, in terms of, I've just seen one from Sophie here about, is it about communicating out to the fridge, Amy?
Yeah, so thank you, Sophie. So do you have any information about how local potential clients would find out about the fridge?
Okay, so we have reached out to local organisations, sort of Merton Giving, Merton Voluntary Sector, GPs, schools and things. So they sometimes will refer people to us. Other than that, obviously we publicise on our social media and those sorts of things, and through our newsletter. Amy, do you have anything to add in terms of how we reach our clients?
I think obviously, as you said, we're going through the intermediary organisations. So NBSC as well, we're connected with they have the COVID response hub, which we connect with them to find clients and put people in touch with our fridge, and obviously the partner fridges now as well. Everything's on our website, and we really are trying to sort of improve our digital communications to reach wider areas within the borough. So we're not just, obviously, the great thing about the network is that we'll have the fridges based in different areas of the borough, so we can obviously reach more people. But it's, as I said at the beginning, it's going to very much be about partnership and supporting each other, all those retweets and things that we want just to get the word out there. So hopefully that answers your question. Ellie, I'll hand back over to you.
Okay, so that leads us on to sustainable food places, which we've just received some funding for. It's a year sort of project, but obviously we hope this will be a long-term thing, really. But it's in conjunction with Sustain, which is a here we have here. It's a partnership program led by the Soil Association, Food Matters, and Sustain, and they're all about kind of solving kind of the food problem in the UK and making connections between organisations to ensure that people are getting food and food isn't wasted. So the first, obviously, I'm kind of leading this project, and my first kind of thing that I'm wanting to do is reach out to local gardening projects, allotments, to see whether they would like to become involved with this project. The project aims to link these growing places with kind of social interaction and things, but also to link in with our community fridge network. So it's our hope that all these gardens and things will be able to donate any surplus food that they may have to the fridges, but also the people that are at these gardening projects, you know, they can donate and they can take from the fridges, and they can get involved in social activities around food and growing. It works both ways, I guess, because also any clients that come to each of the fridges, you know, if they are interested in getting out and doing some community gardening, then we've got the contacts to say, you know, go along, you know, don't be shy. It's a great way to meet people, socialize, and get outside, which is particularly important, obviously, given the circumstances and perhaps, you know, all these restrictions that we're now facing. You know, there's nothing better than getting outside with people safely. So I think it's a great kind of project. So as I said, you know, the food will be shared between residents and the surplus donated to the network. And I'd like to kind of just talk about a couple of our projects that we have at Sustainable Merton, which are Phipps Bridge, which is a community orchard, a allotment, and Mitcham Community Orchard and Gardens. So if you've got the next slide, Amy. Great, so this is a picture of Phipps Bridge. So this is a really well-established, well-loved allotment run by lots of regular volunteers who are now very close friends. It's just so lovely to see. And Phipps is a really good example of how this project or this model works, because, you know, this year they had a surplus, you know, as you do, of potatoes, courgettes, tomatoes. And, you know, once they're distributed between themselves, because obviously, you know, they've put in all that hard work, they deserve you know, to reap the bounty a bit. But then if there was any surplus, they would come and donate to the fridge, which was really lovely. And also in conjunction with that, you know, one of the lead volunteers there, Ruth, she would write out recipes to let, you know, so that we could share with clients who came to the fridge about, you know, what you could maybe do with courgettes and that sort of thing, to really kind of close that circle of, you know, the growing the food, the sharing of the food, and then the preparing of the food. So it's really lovely, and really this is in essence what we'd like to duplicate with all the local growing places if possible. I know Wimbledon Guild have their own gardening project too, so again that will, I imagine that will work similarly to how FIPS works with us. So yeah, so that's great. And then have we got another slide, Amy? We've got more on. Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, fine. So, and then if we go back then, so we can look at the pictures. And then we have Mitcham Community Orchard and Garden, which is another project which is really, has really got a resurgence of kind of interest in it at the moment. For a few years, it kind of didn't have as much kind of, how do I put it, like, it needed some TLC, and that's what it's got now. There's lots of volunteers who are interested in really making this space as nice as it once was. So within the Mitcham Community Orchard and Gardens, there is an orchard, there's a pond, wildflower garden, and that place is slightly different to FIPS, because it's a community hub. It's for people to go and relax and socialize and enjoy, and it's really diverse. It's not just about kind of food growing. You know, we want to create a place where people can come, feel safe, and, you know, get involved in gardening if they like, but just to meet people and just get outside in the fresh air. So I think that's all I was going to say about the sustainable food places. Let me just check on my notes. Yeah, again, it just links in perfectly with the community fridge network, so that's our aim. And hopefully we'll be contacting about 25 different food growing places in the next kind of week, and hopefully some of them will want to get involved. So that's that.